Hi everybody, it's my first video of 2020. I was gonna do a video at the end of December for my updates, but I got really busy with Christmas and trying to get kids back into regular school schedules and New Year's and everything, so I just never got around to doing it. But I figured I would make one now because I want to show progress. First of all, my frag fishery is in bloom again. It finally bloomed like just after the new year, so January 2nd I want to say is when it was fully opened. And if you can look there, I've got another growth starting to spike, so that's great. I was actually planning on repotting this frag because I haven't repotted it lately and it really needs it. But when I saw that it was spiking again, I figured I would wait a little bit and let it bloom, and then I would go ahead and repot it afterwards. Also, too, we're supposed to be getting some really cold temperatures in the next couple weeks, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't overly stress the plant, so I was gonna wait and hold off until it warms up a little bit, just to make sure that it doesn't get too cold for it. Another new thing is my Cattleya Young Min Golden Boy, I think it is. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's producing 4 buds. If it'll focus, it won't focus for some reason. There we go. It's got 4 buds coming on it. That's the most I've ever gotten. Last year it had 4 buds, but 2 of them blasted. So I'm just hoping this time it'll keep all 4 blooms, which would be nice. My 2 Catasetum seedlings are totally skipping dormancy and they're still growing. I am continuing to water them. I'm listening to the plant and I'm not following, everybody else where they need their rest now. So I'm gonna continue feeding them and just let them do their thing. My Stewartiana Phalaenopsis in the back, the spike is still curled into the base, so it hasn't progressed very far. It is growing out a bit once I zoom in, but it's kind of stopped. So I'm fine with that. I would rather the plant focus on growing than spiking for me. And I was already planning on getting rid of the spike once it got a little bit bigger. I was planning on cutting it, but it's not growing, so it's fine by me. I'd rather it grow more roots, and it is starting to grow some roots. My Ludicea discolor is coming back and growing nicely. I'm really happy about this because I almost lost this plant last year. It came back from a show because we used it for display. It came back from a show with some sort of like bug or something on it, and it just decimated it. And I was really worried I was going to lose it because this plant was huge. It was like a beast. And I was really sad, but it's growing back. All the growths have produced new leaves, and I've even gotten a new shoot to come up, so I'm really happy about that. Let's see what else. Everybody else, this is my Phalaenopsis valentinii. It's growing new roots, and its spike is still progressing, so I can't complain about that. I'm really happy about that. One of my other Catasetums is starting a small growth. It's not coming from the base of the bulb, it's coming higher up, so I'm letting it grow a little bit, and once the roots get a couple of centimeters longer, I'll probably start lightly watering it, and we'll see if we can get it to produce a bigger growth. My Brassavola nodosa is doing amazing in the back. It's growing new growth. The newest growth is huge. It needs to be repotted as well, so that's on the list of things to do. And oh, here we go. This is a really interesting one. I was watering these guys, and this is my Phalaenopsis corningiana, and as you can see, there's a new spike right there starting. Really happy about that. But then there's another spike here in the center of the screen, and the existing spike right there. So I'm going to have 3 spikes on this guy, which is awesome. I really like this flower, actually. I'm really happy it's spiking, and it seems to be doing really well. As you can see, they need to be watered again. I literally just watered them a couple days ago, but with the heat on in the house, they've been drying out like really quick. My Sidria japonica is growing massive. It's got roots all over the place. It's even putting roots down into the container that I have the catasetum sitting in. So it's getting like super concentrated fertilizer, but it doesn't seem to mind and it's loving it. So I'm just letting it do its thing. It does need to be repotted though. And then this is my Laelia tenebrosa, or tenebrosa in the back. And this is the most recent matured growth. And that's, let me get around the frag. That's the size of the bulb, the pseudobulb on it. That is so big. It's ridiculous. It's growing new growths too. It's growing roots everywhere. Some of the guys in the back, my dendrobium, this one right here, it bloomed just around Christmas. I took pictures of it, and if I can find the pictures, I will try to add them to this video. I posted them on my Instagram and on our society's Facebook page. So if you're following Fraser Valley Orchid Society on Facebook, you would have seen it. Or if you're following me on Instagram, you would have seen it there as well. It's the Tetragonum album variety. And so for the frags, the other frags that I was talking about, I put some moss on the top because these smaller growths were starting to produce roots and they were sitting out in the open air and I didn't want them to dry out. And so I put some moss on top and they seem to be doing good. There's a root right here in the center of the screen that's growing down into the moss now and it seems to be doing well. My Bessier is doing okay over there in the back. I did the same for it as well. And then beside it is my, hold on one sec. Okay, so this is my Bulbophyllum Elizabeth Ann Buckleberry, and it's growing 2 new growths. There's one there, and then there's another one there, and it's growing in 2 different directions. So I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping it'll fill the pot and then maybe give me some blooms. I have it set deep in the pot because these guys like to walk and creep a lot, and I'm hoping I can get it to stay more tightly clumped if it's deeper in the pot. So far it's doing well. Down here on the second shelf, everybody seems to be doing okay. I actually discovered this when I was watering. It's a spike on my Equestris, which is great. It's growing really quickly. That was only maybe about an inch like a couple days ago, and now it's already like doubled in size. My spike on my other Phalaenopsis is kind of stalled right now because it's focusing on growing roots, which is fine. I'd rather have it grow roots than worry about blooming. But everybody else is doing okay. Oh, gotta focus. Everybody else is growing down here. We have had some losses over in the corner. We're not gonna focus on them. But everybody else seems to be doing all right. New growths, new roots. The new growth on my path is coming along nicely. It's doing well. It's growing nicely. And my Dendrobium Rainbow Dance is growing lots of little tiny shoots, and it's also growing some offshoots like little babies. Oh, also, I'm actually getting a new leaf coming out on my Renanthera, so I'm really happy about that. I really hope I can get this one to bloom and do well because the blooms on it look really interesting. And I have a bloom coming from, it's really close to the light so it's really hard to see, but I have a bud forming on my Psychopsis, so I'm really happy about that as well. The Cattleyas in the back are doing okay. They're getting a bit too much light. As you can tell, I had that one leaf sitting too close to the light, but they're growing multiple growths in different directions, so that's doing well. But yeah, everybody seems to be doing good. The people, or not people, the orchids in my front window are growing really nicely as well. I did lose a couple that I got at the Fraser Valley Orchid Society show in October, but they were, like I said, they were, iffy to begin with, so I didn't have much hope for them. I didn't expect them to, I guess, survive, and most of them didn't. Well, a couple of them didn't. We're still waiting to see how the other ones do, but they seem to be settling in a little bit slower, and I can only attribute that to the cooler temperatures because we didn't turn the heat on in the house until really late, so they probably weren't happy about that. But yeah, I'm just waiting for my catasetums to wake up and get them ready for watering. I might repot them. I don't know if I will keep them in the bark. The bark seemed to be okay. But I think I need to be more vigilant on the watering if I am to keep them in bark, and make sure, because like these two, I've actually made an effort to water them every couple days and to keep them hydrated, and they've done a lot better than these guys did previously. So I'm hoping what I've learned from these two, I'll be able to continue with the rest of them and get them to bloom. But they're really slow, so... And then the ones that I got from Sunset Valley, they're in our front window. They still have most of their leaves. They're not going into dormancy yet. They're taking a really long time. I stopped watering them around Christmas time, and so they have not gotten any water for a couple weeks now, and they still have all of their leaves. So they're taking their sweet time to go sleepy time. But yeah, that's my end of year, beginning of 2020 updates. I'm looking forward to the Vancouver show. I have to look to see what vendors are coming so I can decide if I'm going to put in a pre-order or not. And yeah, I'm going to take lots of pictures when I'm there. I guess that's it for now. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you again. And yeah, follow me on Instagram and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.